I'd love to, hear a little bit more about kind of that relationship and with God and, how your faith has helped in the last year.
Oh, in the last year, it's been amazing. Like I said earlier, I can think back at times where I was at my lowest, to where something will happen to take me out of that funk I was in. Um, and I'm reminded of a story just before I got diagnosed with cancer. I was in Thompson, Georgia. And back then, our stores were closing at 8 o'clock at night because this was the height of COVID. And I remember I ran hard that day, just trying to get all those supplies to the stores. And I remember I ran out of time in Thompson, Georgia. And I remember I was parking in the front parking lot because I try to stay at our stores as much as I can, being over a road truck driver and having to sleep in the truck. I was set up, I was parking, and I remember a car pulling up next to me and thinking, oh my goodness, what is this all about? Because earlier that morning, I'd had somebody follow me behind the store when I was making a delivery. And, that's kind of a scary situation because you don't know what's going on. And it was just people wondering if I had toilet paper on my trailer. So I didn't know what to expect. So here I am, I'm getting out of my truck and I'm doing a post trip inspection, walking around my truck, making sure everything's okay. And this car pulls up and it's a little old man. Now, this was on a Sunday. This is Sunday evening. And he says, "Excuse me, sir." He says, "I just want to know if I could pray for you." And I just remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, here I am. I'm thinking the worst. And this guy wants to pray for me. And I said, sure, you can pray for me. So he gets out of the truck, and right next to my trailer, he comes out. He says, "This seems kind of weird." He says, "But my church is closed." He says, "They're doing online service." He says, "I don't know this computer stuff." He says, "I just felt like I needed to do something." So he says, "I'm tracking down um, any police officers, any firemen, and truck drivers." And he says, "I'm just praying with them." And I'm like, that's just amazing. So right there next to my trailer, he prayed for me, prayed for my safety, and I'll never forget, he prayed for my health. So I look back and I'm like, it was the next week, I think it was, is when this hit me. And I'm like, that's the good Lord talking to you. So, um, my faith this past year has gotten so much stronger. Before all this, we'd go to church and we'd go through the routine, um, but, I wasn't all there. Now I'm there. I realize, you know what? There's a higher power, and you need to lean on the Lord, because if you don't, you're going to be lost, and you're going to be back on that couch sobbing like a baby, and you're going to be at the lowest low you ever been. So this past year has been a tremendous experience for me. I think maybe that's the way the good Lord's working through me to get my head out of my butt, like my dad would say.